What do you do when the happiest day turned into your most traumatic one? For me, it was giving birth to our third baby. It left me with a broken tailbone, a third-degree tear, and a partial uterine prolapse. No one could have prepared me for that. I am a mother here who have survived it, who knows if you're currently going through a traumatic birth, how you're feeling, what you're feeling, and to let you know that you are not alone. Here's my journey of how I survived it. Just as a quick disclaimer, I am not a medical professional, nor do I pretend to be one. If you have gone through a complicated birth or a traumatic birth, please seek medical help. And if you're new here to my channel, welcome. I'd love for you to subscribe as it helps to grow my channel. On this channel, I like to share my homeschooling journey, my faith, and anything health related that encourages other moms. Here's my birth story. It all started when the nurse noticed that my baby was sunny side up, which meant that her head, the back of it, was facing my tailbone. They gave me a lot of epidural, and they had informed me that there was no other position I can use besides laying on my back. To make matters worse, the doctor on call was MIA. They could not find him. It took hours for them to figure out where he was, and by that time, the baby had already arrived. So the only thing he had helped me with was to stitch me up. But during that time with pushing, they were looking for him and they could not find him. And I was left with an ill-equipped nurse. She did not know what she was doing. All she kept telling me was to hold and not push while they searched for this doctor. But to be honest with you, I was pushing already for 2 hours and I couldn't hold it anymore. If anyone knows about childbirth, you know that it is just a natural body reaction. You can't hold on while you know you have to push. So I gave it all I had. And when I pushed her out, we all heard a loud pop. And we knew instantly that something was wrong. My husband and the nurse looked at me in shock because they knew that something went wrong. I myself knew something went wrong. It was not until the next day when the new OB that was on call came to my room and informed me that I had broken my tailbone. If you know anything about a tailbone injury, there is no cast. There's nothing anyone can do, but it has to be self-healing. On top of all this, because I had pushed so hard and so quick, I was left with a third-degree tear. And because no one was coaching me on how to push, I was left with a partial uterine prolapse. What surprised me the most was not just the physical pain, but the actual emotional toll that it would take after this injury. We live in a house with many steps, so going down the steps was not feasible. So I had to stay in my house, upstairs in my bedroom, all by myself to recover because my husband had to help out with the other children. I felt like a prisoner in my own home for a long while. Almost every night for a whole week, I would dream about the delivery and how traumatic it was. I would find myself crying on most of those days because I feel I have lost precious days with my precious baby. The trauma didn't stop there. While driving back to the hospital for my postpartum checkup, just the sight of that hospital left me in tears and made me feel nauseous to my stomach. I could not look at the hospital because it just brought back a lot of bad memory. If you are experiencing any of these symptoms, go seek help. PTSD after birth is real, and you do need help. And if you have gone through something similar, let me know in the comments. Sometimes just sharing your story can be part of your healing process. How did I get through those dark days? Well, to be honest with you, it was through prayer. I asked God to guide me through it, to heal me through it, and to just carry me through those dark days. I knew I needed to be covered in prayer when I was going through something like this. So I asked my friends, friends, anyone who knew me, I was asking them to pray for me. No prayer was too small in my opinion, and no prayer was too big, because I knew that I served a mighty God. I also let my friends visit. I know it wasn't something that I originally wanted. I didn't want anyone to see me in that condition, but it gave me healing to just sit with my friends and to talk it over, to share with them what I was going through. I felt just God's presence in those conversations. So I'm so thankful for my community that was able to just come and surround me and love on me during those dark days. Another thing I would do is create routines, something I look forward to each and every day. A simple act of pulling back the curtains just to let the sun in and soak the room up really helped lift my mood. Sometimes I would just blast worship music. Good music can lift your soul. So if that helps, I would say blast that music and sing and dance. Do what you can. Nourishing my body. In the Asian culture, we have something called 坐月子. That's when a mother would literally sit and do nothing for the first month after giving birth, because everyone around her would take care of her and feed her nourishing foods that would just replenish everything that she had depleted out of her body after birth. So that would mean lots of warm broths and meals that is high in protein and collagen. And I knew that, so I stocked up my freezer full of collagen and protein infused meals. But I had no idea this time around it would be different. I have a feeling somehow God knew. So he had allowed me time to do that in advance. And I'm so glad he did. One thing that really helped me were these bone broth sticks. I just love these. I would just dissolve these into warm water and drink it as a snack. I'll have the link below if you're interested in learning more about these. The physical healing journey. Once I stabilized myself emotionally from the trauma of it all, and I have nourished my body, next was the actual physical healing. It took about 3 months before my body was ready for physical therapy. And then it took me another 3 months before I found the right pelvic PT to help me with my problems. I tried out several different pelvic PTs before I found her. One of my previous pelvic PTs actually just told me to do breath work, and that was it. And don't get me wrong, breath work for deep core is important and essential for your beginning healing process. But should that be the only thing that we do? No. Breath work along with stretches, along with actual hands-on pelvic therapy is what helps the injury, help your tailbone. Not just one, but several different components combined together. If you don't see progress, speak up. And don't be afraid to switch your pelvic PT if it's not working out. Be your own advocate. You know your body best. My breakthrough. Almost after a whole year of pelvic PT appointments, I finally felt close to myself again. It doesn't mean that I'm not living with pain right now. It just simply means that it's not chronic. Sometimes right before my period comes, I still have a pain in my tailbone region, but it's not chronic, and praise the Lord for that. I was afraid that this would become a chronic issue throughout my entire life. Because of what I have learned through PT, I can now live with minimal pain, and I can bear it. Here's my closing. So, what's the takeaway from all this? Healing is possible. There's a light at the end of that dark tunnel. Take hope that this too shall pass. If you're currently going through that season, I am with you. I understand how you're feeling, because those dark days can be really dark. But trust me, sister, at the end of it all, you will come out of it stronger than ever before. And it takes consistency to work on that injury, to work on the trauma, to just be consistent in how you better yourself. Because at the end of the day, there is a lesson to be learned from all this. And when we see the lesson, we come out of it stronger than before. I pray my story gives you hope, courage, and strength. And if it did, please like and subscribe so you don't miss future episodes. If you have a friend who needs encouragement today, share it with them. Share this video with them. God bless.